So I've heard a lot of people talking about this incident that happened with Shadow Boxer and his prison sentence and what he did to this woman. So what I've done is I've got the court records and I've put it into my AI, because I've paid for this AI now, because I will pay for things if I have to, and I think it's worth it, and I think it is worth it to give a outside opinion, like you don't know any story other than what the court record says, and I've put it in under that remit, that it just follows the guidance of these court records that I've put in. And this is what it's come up with. I'll give my verdict to end, because I am Judge Karma, of course. But yeah, it's interesting to see what it comes up with.
Is it possible for a jury to deliver inconsistent verdicts? How does such a scenario impact the fairness and validity of a trial? These are the questions that come to mind as we delve into the case of an appellant who stood trial for serious offenses, including rape, oral rape, making threats to kill, and sexual assault. This case unfolded between the 21st of November and the 12th of December 2017, when the appellant was tried in the Central Criminal Court. The trial spanned over 3 weeks, a period filled with intense deliberations, witness testimonies, and evidence presentation. At the end of the trial, the jury convicted the appellant of sexual assault. Fast forward to the 9th of March 2018, the court handed down a sentence of 5 years imprisonment, taking effect from the 7th of March 2018. However, the story does not end here. The appellant, not satisfied with the conviction, appealed to the Court of Appeal. His appeal was grounded on 2 main points. First, he argued that the trial judge should have acceded to an application under the jurisdiction identified in DPP v. POC, a case from 2006. His second argument was that the jury's verdicts were inconsistent with each other. However, the Court of Appeal was not swayed by the appellant's arguments. The court was not persuaded that the trial was unfair or unsatisfactory, or that the verdict was unsafe. The court held firm that the trial had been conducted fairly and that the verdict was safe. In conclusion, the key points of this case revolve around the issues of inconsistent verdicts and the fairness of a trial. However, the Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal, holding that the trial was fair and the verdict safe. The appellant's arguments did not hold enough weight to sway the court's decision. So, the final verdict: appeal dismissed. In the complex world of law, each case serves as a stepping stone, shaping the legal landscape and setting precedents for future trials. And as we've seen in this case, the pursuit of justice continues, one trial at a time.
What happens when trust is broken? What transpires when the safe haven turns into a battlefield? Let's delve into a tale of shattered trust and shattered dreams, a story that echoes with the pain of betrayal. Imagine a night that begins with the promise of rest, a night that should have been filled with tranquility. A woman, let's call her Jane, enters a bedroom with a man she trusts, a man named Paul. Jane, weary from the day, slips off her shoes, her jacket, and settles onto the mattress. Paul, returning from the bathroom, proposes they get some sleep. 7 hours, he suggests, a reasonable amount to recharge before the dawn of a new day. But as the darkness envelops the room, the atmosphere begins to shift. Paul, who was once a trusted companion, becomes fixated on Jane's jeans. He insists again and again that she takes them off. Jane, uncomfortable and confused, resists. Soon, Paul's insistence turns into desperation. His kisses, once tender, become frantic. Jane, caught off guard, kisses him back, her mind a whirl of confusion and fear. Paul, unable to control his urges, starts to tug at Jane's jeans, ignoring her pleas for him to stop. In the quiet bedroom, a struggle ensues. Jane finds herself pinned under Paul, his hands wrapped around her neck. Her pleas for mercy fall on deaf ears as he continues to tighten his grip. Words of intimidation and threats escape his lips as he towers over her, his intentions clear and terrifying. Jane, terrified, can do nothing but sob as Paul continues his assault. The boundaries of trust and respect are shattered as he forces himself onto her. In the midst of her ordeal, Paul leaves the room, giving Jane a brief respite. She covers herself, seeking a shred of dignity amidst the chaos. But her relief is short-lived as Paul returns, more aggressive than before. The assault continues, with Paul's anger and frustration evident in his actions. He blames Jane, threatens her with defamation. The ordeal seems endless for Jane, her pleas for mercy ignored as Paul continues to violate her. And then, as suddenly as it began, it ends. Paul, unable to maintain his arousal, leaves Jane alone in the bedroom. Jane is left to process the harrowing ordeal, her trust in Paul shattered, her sense of safety violated. In conclusion, Jane's story serves as a grim reminder of the devastating effects of betrayal and violation. It underlines the importance of consent and respect in every relationship. It reminds us of the courage it takes for survivors to speak up, and the necessity for us as a society to listen, believe, and take action.
How often do we ponder the disturbing reality that exists behind closed doors? How often do we consider the silent epidemic of date rape and the justice, or lack thereof, that follows for victims? The numbers, when we dare to look at them, paint a bleak picture. Imagine a world where only 1 in 70 reported rape cases in England and Wales leads to a charge or summons. Yes, you heard it right. 1 in 70. This shockingly low prosecution rate has led some to refer to the situation as the decriminalisation of rape. This isn't just a statistic, it's a glaring spotlight on a systemic failure that needs urgent attention. Now consider the case of South Africa, a nation grappling with some of the highest rates of gender-based violence and femicide in the world. A woman is murdered every 3 hours, and the rate of rape is astonishingly high. Yet despite these alarming figures, the justice system struggles with delays in court proceedings and low conviction rates. And it's not just a problem confined to these 2 nations. Globally, fewer than 1 in 6 women and 1 in 5 men report sexual assault crimes to the police. This is a pandemic of silence, an epidemic of fear, and a systemic failure of justice. But what does this mean for the victims? It means their voices are often unheard. It means their pain is frequently invalidated. It means they must carry the heavy burden of trauma, often alone and without the closure that justice can bring. But this narrative isn't set in stone. Change is possible. It starts with awareness, it grows with empathy, and it solidifies with action. Support organisations that are working tirelessly to improve justice for date rape victims. Advocate for legal reforms that prioritise the rights and well-being of victims over the reputations of perpetrators. Educate others about the prevalence of date rape and the importance of consent. Every voice matters. Every action counts. Together, we can rewrite this narrative. We can create a world where date rape is a rarity, not a reality, and where justice isn't just a possibility, but a guarantee.
So you had the statistics. You had the statistics. I've been got my front teeth in. So if a case manages to get through the CPS or the local governing agency that decides what cases get to court, and they're found guilty by a jury on the information given, I believe that that case is sound. Because if only 1 in 70 is getting to court, then there must be something in it, mustn't there?